Hello, theoddjobdoer here. In today's little venture in video photography, theoddjobdoer, is we've got this here. We've got this mini blind, right? Takes a picture. You can see another one up on the top there, and this one here is I might have had a video on this before, but it's not really a lasting product. So one of the things about this here is it is zoom into this side here a little bit, is that this here is a mini blind that is plastic, vinyl. Vinyl is the right word, I think. And to show you the difference between the two, get ahead of myself. Between the vinyl and non-vinyl, this here's non-vinyl. This here's metal, right? Sure, it can bend, but it snaps back. To a point, you increase it, but it's a little more sturdy, especially for heat. If you have hotness, like me, no, if you have heat coming through, the sun, whatever, this should stand up a little bit better than vinyl would. Vinyl can, kind of melt whatever. But what we're going to do with this here is get rid of it, and because, in part, we're in maybe California. Maybe it's a federal law now, but I'll show you what's been done here. You have this one here, the one that's bad, right? And up here this goes, from here, boop, over to that side. Basically covers up this doorway for this sliding glass window. But then you have this one up here, giant finger. See that one there? That goes all the way across and actually captures this other one here. And yeah, so what it used to be is that this one here that's still standing had two of the same size, but the part where the door is at, that's so damaged, whatever, got replaced with this cheaper thing. And newer version, because the older version here has not only the rod here to open and close them, right? It also has the string. You pull to raise and lower it. Now the problem with the string is if you do it like this, where the ends come down, and this one here is actually made tied together, right? And that's part of the problem. So they have had it to where there's a knot in this part here for some reason. There's also this little clip here that's adjustable. But these cords here, the problem with them, the reason why they've changed the design of these things is, and made them all cordless now. They're making fancy cordless, but it's because of this. Even if you had cords like at my house, where you have I think like 2 or 3 cords that come down and they're all separate, like this is cut off, so it's just empty cords. Some people time the knot so they're all together, and then you have this right here, choke point. So, see, this is down by the ground, and this one here is pretty much, calcified and made to look like this, all tied together. But, pets run around, maybe children, something like that, they can get in here, and, you get in there and choke. So, laws came around, got rid of the cords, and now they're cordless. I like this new one here. And so, let me show you how ease of operation this is. You basically just have to go down with 1 or 2 hands, grab here and lift it. And as it's lifting, it winds up inside the top part. Now, the problem is, top part being way up here. The cord winds up in there, and you basically get it lifted up, so it's all, up like so. The problem is after a while of doing this maybe up and down motion, probably doing like I'm doing right now, maybe it breaks, Probably might have broken because you have the handle right here of the door. But in any case, this is what we're going to do about this. We're going to trip up my shoestring. Now I'm going to get rid of these and put in a vertical blind, they call it. 2 reasons going this route. 2 reasons. One is because people are like not wanting to maybe reach all the way down here, grab this and lift it up. Not to mention you can try like that. It doesn't. Some work really nice. More expensive ones probably do. The cheap ones don't. They're no bueno, no good. But the getting away from the cord here. This is the only other chance really, is to have this vertical blind up and down. Now the other reason is measurements. So to cover this door here, this is I think a 6-foot wide door, and depending on how far it goes up, it might be 6 foot. No, it's bigger than 6 foot. 6 foot. I'm over 6 foot. So yeah, the door is 7 foot maybe. I don't know. Tape measure, but I don't want to do it right now. So I know is that the width on it's one thing. It's about 6 foot. The height though is what we got to replace it is 84 inches. And the width is actually 78, so a little bit more over 6 foot wide, 78 or 84 inches tall, and that's going to be able to have it, cover from top to bottom. Where this one here, this mini blind, bought this door, I think the longest one they had might have been 6 foot. Doesn't do it. It left a gap at the bottom, and at the top it could have been dropped down a little bit more, but basically it's not going to cover it. So the slats up and down. Vertical for hopefully easier of operations and to make it look better than what's going on here, and to cover the whole window. Yeah. So I'm going to start with some dismantling stuff here. This little part here, I'm sure it's kind of goes off like that. This part here, and this on the sides has parts that just usually come out. Now this one has a special clip here. I don't know if you can see it right there. Yeah, there's a special clip in there, and I think you push up on it and pull down. All right. So that's one. The other one is has a brace there in the middle, and here, and then over here has a locking thing, which sometimes you use screwdrivers, sometimes you don't. But somewhere this here bends off. Okay, so this one actually should have bent up like that, but we don't care because we're not using this. And this would just lift it out, type of thing. And I don't know. Let me see here. Very carefully rise up some of the string. These usually get hard to pull. Gunk gets in, whatever. Okay, there. That's beautiful. And then I just kind of lift this one out, and with the power of 2 hands, maybe, so I don't break stuff. Where's my third arm? I'll just pop it out of that side there and bring it all down. Yeah, I am. Okay. Easy peasy. Now, I'm going to do a little cleanup. Basically, I'll take a screwdriver, drill driver, whatever, and pop out these screws and everything, and get rid of all the hardware from the old stuff. Alright, so here's a pro tip here. I'm removing, earthquake, the hardware, so remove some of that. And one of the things I have here is this here magic wand. It's a rotation device, right? So, unless the customer really needs these or wants these, I'm taking away and scrapping the rest of the stuff. I usually keep these, in case there's another one that might need it at some other job. And the other thing I do is hardware-wise. So, I carry a little plastic baggie, right? A little Ziploc here. And, for instance, I took that bracket off that is in the middle. Looks something like this here. And now this here was made pretty much for that one model. And yes, if I'm doing a lot of the same models, I might, or change out. Well, if I change out the same models, you almost just pop it out and pop the one in. But if I was installing a bunch of these, well, I guess I'd be installing them. But since I'm taking this away, this will probably go trash. Could go to scrap recycling. But the screws here, right? little screws. They have good heads on them still. Those will go in a little baggie, so I can use for other projects. Now, these types of screws usually aren't too strong, you know. They're made for light use, but that's fine. And eventually, if you're really good handyman, odd job doer, whatever, you will have piles of these around your house or in your workshop. And I don't have to go to the hardware store so often. So I'll finish down the tear down here, and then we'll get back to the install. Alright, so there you can see this is a 78 inch by 84. And so the first one should be width, the other one's height, 84 inches high. Products by Project Source, maybe the Lowe's brand, I don't know. This was purchased from Lowe's. 3.5 inch cordless vertical blind. So 3.5 inches, how wide? How wide those blinds are. And looks like that. There's some words there. Okay, light filter. So this one here doesn't filter much light, but I don't really care because it's kind of in a darker room it's going to go into. And the main thing was they just want people peeping in, you know, neighbors and stuff. No, neighbors, don't you be peeping. And so it should keep from that happening. And the tool-wise, oh, there's a picture of how it looks when it's all done. In someone else's house. So the tool-wise part of this, what is needed, the hardware, is shown on the side. Right? And so what we got there is looks like a tape measurer, a Phillips screwdriver, a drill, and then a little drill bit. If I zoom in close enough, it'll get all blurry. But it says underneath it, it's a 3/32. So that's a 3 over the number 32. And that's probably for pilot holes. Alright. Now, even though they said that they don't need it, well, I got this. Knife. And just, you know, I'm going to cut off the outside wrapping. Maybe I have to cut some tape from the box. I'll unbox all here and see what we got. But be careful. No deep cuts with this knife. You don't want to ruin your product. Alright, so you can't really see. This is a little blurry, but what I'm trying to show you here is that I have a tape measurer. And this particular one has measured by the 1/8. There it goes. Alright, so you still probably, well, maybe you can see on the monitor. So we got 1/8, quarter, probably 3/8 and a half. And now what we got here is an end of a drill bit. So a 1/16 is an 1/8 here and a half. So this little spot here, that's a 1/16. So if we're doing 3/16, no, 3/32 is actually half of, from like my thumbnail to this little spot right there. See, real small, that's a 1/16. So half of that's a 32nd. And now this one here, if I put it right on there, that is about, should be 3/16. Now, if you're in a metric country, you don't worry about this. It's probably what, maybe 2 millimeters, something like that? Maybe 3 millimeters? I don't know, there's a conversion chart somewhere, but yeah, so this right here should be a, even though it's not marked, should be a 3/32 drill bit. And really it doesn't really matter. I mean, what they're looking for is, if you're good at sizing up your screw or bolt, screw usually, with your hole that you're pre-drilling, you know, it's easy to size them up that way by looks for some people. But that's 3/32 in case we wanted to see what it looked like. All right. Okay, so some manual hill parts. First thing I noticed here was a model number. This here on the paperwork says here, hard to read, but it's 94931. Now on the box, it's actually 09 and then 24749. So that's kind of odd, but maybe the model number is actually just the model of this instruction, because there you have what it looks like when it's done. Here's some stuff that should be in the box. So they got here, this rod off the side here, that is our head rail. There's one of those, and this here came attached to it. This is our wand, magic wand. Pre-assembled, it says. I unassembled it to make this a little more easier, I think. Let's just dangle it around and get in the way. And then we got these valence returns, which looks like there's two of these little plastic pieces, you know. They have a little bend to them. That's probably important. And then what else we got here? The valence, which is a long strip of plastic that I'll show you later because it's behind me right now. And also, which is looks like this square here. It's actually longer. And then we've got this part here. These are your slats that are going down, your vertical blinds. And depending on what size you get, it looks like there's either you're getting like 21 of them, 25, 33. So by 78 by 84, we should have at least 25 of them. And if you get like a 104 by 84, that's 33 of them. So that's quite a bit. Then we have a little treasure box here, a little 3L treasure box. Inside here we have these things. Right? I'm more likely just going to hook on the top, and you're going to put the one valence to cover up everything. Facing outside. That's the technical name for these things are valence clips. Then we got valence corners, which are these here, and that's probably where those other two smaller pieces of plastic come into. It's going to be these two things here, going to go on the end. And then we got out of the way. Valence mounting brackets. So would you believe that? So we got two of these here. Looks like they're going like so. Wait a minute. 2, 3 of them. So depending on what size, you have different ones. Their number CC on the thing here, and so yep, there should be 3 of them. So one's in the middle, 2 on the edges, and last but not least, looks like we have another valence clip in here, and our hardware. Now we have screws here, and we have drywall or hollow anchors right here. Going to drywall, maybe plaster, and then if you have wood, like I have wood here, I'm just going to screw it into these screws here. Right? So that's for the parts list. Now, special note, this thing down here, your valence rod. After you have everything hung up, this I'm pretty sure can go both ways. So you can have it open left to right, or right to left, depending on which way you install that. Okay, so to hang this, you want to do from the bottom of your flooring, down there, 84.5 inches high. To the top, and do it on either side of the door. So I'm going to stick that part down there and lift this puppy up here till there maybe, and then 84.5 inches. So that, to me, that's right here at the bottom of this other bracket. So that's pretty good. Oh, look, a pencil. Yeah, they didn't say anything about a pencil in the box, but you need a pencil too. So 84.5 inches, and you do that on both sides. Trust me, I'm doing it the same way on this other side. Well, just to get in there. Hmm. 84.5 inches. Alright, so got that done. Next, what they want to do might take 2 people, and that is to basically we're going to center up the part, the head rail, like so. I'm trying try to set it up on top of the window between the two spots. And there's a trick here. Well, not really a trick, but that's about center there. They want you to mark both those sides. So there's one. And excuse me, pardon me. Without dropping it, like this one. There. Okay, so that's pretty good centered up there. There's a little bit of a playroom because here comes the playroom, folks. You take your measurementer. You go from that mark you did there, which is right here maybe. Trust me, it's right there. Blam. And you go 7 inches in. Now, here comes the boom. So, you find set marks. So, there's from the side one. Man, you can't even see. But there's a side one. It's 7 inches in. So it's over here somewhere. And then you get that 84, which is right at the bottom of here. Bring it in. You put a little X, or a little cross there, and that's going to be the bottom of the bracket when you hang the bracket. So, bracket here. This is for an outside mount, by the way. I want to make that clear. So, across from here, 7 inches. I don't know, maybe right there. Right? So the bottom of the bracket is on the 84.5 inches high. And if you have carpet or rugs that go there, you go ahead and knock it up another, half inch or so. So right about there. And then 7 inches over. So I will get that going and mark it better, and we'll get to drilling. Alright, so in situations like this here, you don't have to cry. Here's a good idea. Another pro tip is get yourself a colored pencil. You got me a yellow color here, right? And that there is going to be able to add that to your toolbox. Something not be yellow, could be hot pink or something. But add that to your toolbox, and then you can continue from there and mark stuff. So what we got here now, see if it'll come in, is the shadow. Let's see, where's that thing out here? Alright, so they pop up real good. Not that, right here. Slightly see them. Anyways, I made a cross here. That's the 84 and 3/4 high. And then 7 inches from the side over here over. And then I lined it up with the bottom of said bracket, like that, and marked my holes through the bracket. Now, I'll be ready to drill. And especially overhead, but anytime you drill, make sure you got your eye protection on. Already got that going. And simply, with the 3/32 bit, find your mark. I'm going to start on the top one here. Oops. And drill straight in. There. And then I'll go just right in the middle of this sliding part down here for the adjustment one, which doesn't want to be adjusting. right toe. And I'll do a quick change of the bit here. And retrieve a couple of the screws from their package of hardware. These seem pretty beefy, I suppose. Phillips head only, number 2, looking like. Okay, and then we'll. And this bracket here, as you'll see, because I mean, there's a doorknob in case you haven't seen, but right here, this bracket, there's a screw there. So after it's installed, you can adjust how far it goes in and out. Let's see now. Do that. Okay, not tight all the way. Double check this. Yeah, looks like Phillips. Looks like it's mostly slot on them, but we'll finish it up with a slot. Find that hole. There. All right. Then I'll get me my handy dandy manual screwdriver. Just kind of, you know, snug things up here. Okay. Then I'll mount the other one on the other side too. Alright, so I do this circumstantially beyond my slight control. Ow. That's what happened. So, drill the holes, put the screws in, tighten them down, hand, and that's one bracket there. And now I'll work on the other bracket. It's getting dark. Alright, there you can slightly see blurry. Then I got 3 of those brackets up there. 1, 2, 3. And for the middle one here, what I'd done was this is where a level could come in handy. You can level the lines, you know, across from the other 2 and just mark here. You can eyeball it. So if you have a 3rd support or a 4th one even, eyeball it, you know, space them. But for spacing, eyeball it, but for the height, you want to have it right on pretty much. And so I use this part here as a datum and just measure it up here to the other 2 brackets to find out how much from here to here it measures up to, right? Mount this up there, secured. And now we can hang the head rail. Alright, so the middle connector is in place there. And now what we're going to do is take the rail, alright, the railing here, and make sure you know which side is which. So we have the window on the left side that opens over here. Right side stuck. So I have this already set up to where this here's where the rod goes in and it comes across, see? So it goes up like that. You just go ahead and center it on those brackets. And the way they connect together is, or connect to this thing, is there's a little lip that will go back in here, and then it connects, no, actually connects up front first, and you twist it back up and in. Right? So you want to connect the front part first, and twist it back in. It should click right in there. And don't forget to center it over your window. Or door, whatever you're doing here. That's looking good. And rotate it in. with a few clicks. There, see this? Nice. In fact, that's the next part. Next part, you want to retrieve one of your slats here. And I'm gonna do with this thing. I'm gonna be very careful when I get them out of this plastic bag. So I don't rip anything. Guess I could have done this freehand. Plastic strong. Me weak. Oh, let me put some there. Okay. Luckily these are vinyl. Ow. Pretty flexible, luckily. Back demons. Okay. Let's get to the anatomy of this thing here. So, at one end, there's this. See this little hole here? Yeah? And keep in mind these all have like a little bit of a curve to them. Okay? I don't know if you can see it on the camera good, but there's a little curve to it. So you want to make sure they go all in the same way, facing the same way. So, I'm going to zoom back up top there. And there's these clips here, right? And so these things just slide right up in the clip and click in there. See that? Great. So, just repeat that step for the rest of them. Right. Interrupt this video for important announcement. This video here is brought to you by breakfast. Yeah? The first meal of the day. Unless you have pre-breakfast. Alright. Back to the filming. Right, so they're all hooked up there now. Now I'll reattach the rod, which goes way up there. Right up there. Has a hook on it, right? The hook just goes right back into the hole that it came out of. I have a little finagling to do with it. Let's see here. Okay, remember it'll hang down like so, and that's basically your operation. Then you can grab it, open it, close it, open it, close it all the way. And then with the rod, like so, right, you could rotate it. As you rotate it, these things close one way. And they say to reset them, if they ever get not hanging straight, I guess, you rotate it all the way one way till there's a click. Then rotate it back the other way till there's a click. So, let's see how it works. I guess that's a click. Oh, there's some clicks. Let me go back the other way. That's definitely a click. Now it is reset. And you can see, people can't see in. Light kind of comes in. That's not super darkening like they said. And next we'll work on hanging the clips up here on the rod. Open it up so we get more light in. Now if this ever gets to where it doesn't move good like that, like a new one, maybe put like a little bit of I want to say graphite. We would put maybe wax or something. Maybe we can wax the rod here, some kind of like slight lubricant on it to make it so it slides smooth again. Or maybe just to get cleaner, it needs a wipe down. It has too much of a grease or a gunk buildup on that thing, and so it doesn't open and close smoothly. All right, next part. Okay, for this next step, we're going to have these parts here, these clip-ons. This here goes on top of the head rail, so you basically put one notch here, and clink, lock it on down. This front part's where you have the valance covers. And so, let's see if we can take a little look up here. One up there, and you know, basically put the middle one in the middle, and then the other ones I'm going to put not so much right on the end caps of them. I'm going to put them on the right up here, about right on the inside maybe of the braces. So like that. Hit the back and snap it down, holding this here because I don't know. I worry about that. I worry about just snapping up there. The one of these plastic deals that you put in there, the blinds, is not too heavy, but once you get them in there, they get kind of heavy. So we have this part here now. This here is a piece of material, like up the top part. You have a longer piece which goes across the top here, all those clips that you did. But this is going to go on the side, and how this basically goes is that you'll have these corner pieces here, and it basically will hook onto your top part up there like this. So you just kind of clamps on the side there of it, and then you have the part that goes towards the wall. Comes here towards the wall. Another one that will fit in here. Alright, so let me get that top piece up there. The top piece I'm talking about, valance, is basically the part that's going to fit right in here. It's going to clamp in, well not clamp, but it fits in there, push up, give it a pinch, and it should, ta-da, it should pinch in there just fine if you have two hands or more. So let me put that top piece covering up there. And okay, so I basically will take the corner piece, and that goes on here. I'll put this piece in first. Slip on there. Kind of, like I said, it kind of bends and flattens in there. And then up here, same way. Bends and flattens in there. Right. So I'll block the view from the other side, which of course no one's going to be over there. And yeah, looks like so. The other side. But basically this here should be it. And there comes up your head rod. Up there. Go like that. Grab it. Slide it across. All the way. Get some rotation. I like the other way better. I like the curved part coming towards the rim for some reason. Get your camera leg out of the way. And there you have it. Some nice privacy again to keep those neighbors of yours from looking in your back window as you're gaming and such, right? Now another little pro tip here, ever so slightly, and from actually a while ago in the video, when you're measuring from the floor up, be careful not to put your measuring tape, in the groove down here, right? That dirty groove. So that's going to add probably I don't know, 1/2 inch, 3/4 to your measurement. I didn't do that before, so I don't have to worry about it. And there we go. Any questions or comments? Leave them in the space below. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Odd Job Doer out.